It's another WRAL weather alert day, a heat advisory, and another chance for severe storms. I'll show you how long the pattern lasts and when we can see record heat again.
Vape shop break-in. Thousands of dollars in merchandise is reported stolen from a store on Capitol Boulevard. What we're learning this morning from surveillance video only on WRAL.
Teen takeover. Raleigh police say thousands of teens gathered over the weekend, causing chaos in the city. The fights and shootings that happened as part of the uproar. Good morning, everyone. It is 6 o'clock. It may be the Monday after holiday weekend, but lots happening and lots to catch you up on. Glad you're with us. I'm Renee Chu.
I'm Chris Levinga. Go ahead, roll out of bed, grab that cup of coffee. We are with you all morning long here in WRAL. Swinging over to your weather report because you want to know about, yes, another WRAL weather alert day. It's going to be another hot one on deck, Elizabeth. How hot is it going to get today?
So it'll feel more like 105 to even 109 in parts of the viewing area. The heat advisory from the Triangle area southward, that's where we really get into the danger zone. And then, just like yesterday, another level 1 risk for severe storms. We did have a pocket of wind damage, mainly in the Sandhills yesterday. I'll show you where it could pop up again today. Timeline very similar to yesterday. Mid to late afternoon is when we'll have the best chance of those scattered storms. We are waking up to a pretty sky this morning, a mix of sun and clouds as our sun starts to come up, but it is muggy. 72 is our dew point, and it's 73 in terms of the temperature. So it's real sticky out there for us. Up north, it'll feel like maybe 102 to 103. But in the Triangle up to 105, and some of our southeastern towns maybe 107 to 109 this afternoon. So take it easy out there. We'll hit 80 degrees by 8 a.m. and then we'll be in the upper 90s for this afternoon. We have more chances for rain this week, and of course it's likely to be scattered each day, but I'll show you what some of the totals could be through Friday coming up. Ken?
Elizabeth, at 6:01 happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. Rather quiet start to your morning commute as we take a live look at I-40 Aviation Parkway. Traffic flowing at a nice steady clip in all directions. We have one incident to report. I'm going to check on that to let you know if that's going to affect your morning commute. But as far as major routes heading into Raleigh, just a 1-minute delay coming east on I-40. But I-87, you're coming out of Wake Forward, you're coming out of the Garner-Johnson County area, all delay free at this hour. You're getting ready to head into the car, though. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5. HD3.
The Raleigh police are investigating right now an overnight break-in at a vape shop. And yes, this whole thing was captured on camera. Let's go ahead and bring in Ali Kadhabar. She is at the scene of that location on Capitol Boulevard. Ali, the owner says that tens of thousands of dollars of product was stolen in that case.
Yeah, Chris, the owner tells me that $30,000 of THCA was stolen from Mini City Tobacco and Vape right here. There was also damage to the front door and above it, the glass above it. Now, we do want to show you this video only on WRAL. It shows a man throw a hammer at the glass. He continues bashing the hammer into the glass, and then he climbs over the door into the store through a hole he made in the glass. Now, this video also shows him dragging a trash can out of the store. One of the store owners tells me that contains that $30,000 of THCA product. Now, Raleigh police say that the suspect has not been identified and has not been arrested. We are working to find out more information about what led up to this break-in and how much exactly was stolen and why. Of course, we're keeping you updated right here on WRAL. Reporting live in Raleigh, Ali Kadhabar, WRAL News.
Allie, thank you. Raleigh police also responded to the single car crash early this morning on Lake Wheeler Road. This happened near Kirkland Road, just south of I-40, before 3 in the morning. The WRAL Breaking News Tracker was there as officers investigated. Police say the woman who was driving is expected to recover.
And teams worked early this morning to clear fallen trees from a road in Garner. Look at this video here. This is from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker on Benson Road near Foxbury Drive. Garner police say the roads were shut down there and they had to do so while teams worked to remove that tree.
Raleigh police say 9 people were shot after 2 massive teen takeovers in 2 parts of the city over the weekend.
And we know that right now, investigators at the time are estimating several thousand teenagers and young adults showed up with some weapons. We have WRAL's Elizabeth Holmes, who's tracking that story for us in downtown Raleigh this morning. Elizabeth, we know that there are dozens of arrests that were made during this chaos.
Chris, that's right. Court records suggest that at least 27 people were arrested as part of the teen takeover that happened here on Glenwood South in downtown Raleigh. And this morning, police are still looking for those suspected shooters. Here's a timeline of what we know so far.
Let's start first at Briar Creek. Police say around 10:27 Saturday night, police got a report of a fight happening near the movie theater. They said this was part of a teen takeover. Nearly 3,000 teens were said to be there. After the fight, there was another large fight and shots were fired. Police say 2 innocent adults were injured. Police did detain someone under the age of 18 for having a handgun, but they don't believe that person fired the shots. Then let's go to Glenwood South. Around 1:30 Sunday morning, officers responded to multiple shootings around Glenwood South's entertainment district. There were about 5,000 people involved in that teen takeover. They were on multiple neighboring streets. 6 people were injured. All of those injuries appear to be non-life threatening. Police called it a massive situation. Then 3 hours later and less than a mile away, a fight happened at a gas station off Capitol Boulevard near Peace Street. That fight led to a shooting and 2 people were shot.
Now, we did speak with some business owners here downtown. They said they actually had to close early to protect their staff, and some of them even floated the idea of a curfew. They're now asking Raleigh officials to respond. Elizabeth Holmes, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Raleigh Police Chief Rico Boyce issued a statement after the violence over the weekend. He said in part, what happened across our city on the 4th of July is both heartbreaking and unacceptable. Our thoughts are with every victim, every family, and everyone whose lives were impacted by these senseless acts of violence. He also went on to say we remain committed to identifying those responsible, holding them accountable, and working alongside our community to prevent this from happening again. We will follow the latest on these teen takeovers and the search for the suspects throughout the day. You can follow on the WRAL app and in our evening newscast starting at 4 p.m.
Well, the busy July 4th travel weekend is behind us, and AAA says more people traveled than ever this holiday weekend. Yesterday marked, I guess, the last big travel day for the holiday, and AAA projected more than 72 million people traveled by their car or plane, and that surpassed last year's record. We spoke with people at RDU as they returned home yesterday, and they saw firsthand just how hectic things became.
This is the first time I ever had to park at the very top of the parking garage. I didn't know there was a top to it. I learned that this weekend because there was so many people here. Coming back was more of an issue than getting there. Just a lot of people moving around, like everything's moving slow. The new TSA down there was taking forever.
So while it may not be as busy at the airport as the last few days, RDU says it is still a good idea to arrive early and check your flight status before your trip.
Fireworks are being blamed for a massive fire that damaged this home Saturday night on Lake Gaston. Warren County investigators say improperly discarded fireworks started the fire. No one was home at the time. None of the firefighters were hurt. The house is considered a total loss. The person who was injured in a fireworks mishap at the Wilson County Fairgrounds is now out of the hospital. We spoke with a man who says he was at the event with his family, and he had pulled out his phone to record the finale when clearly something went wrong.
I normally record the finale because it's different every year. Well, as soon as I started recording, that's what started going down, was in the video. They were exploding on the ground. And my initial reaction to it was that's not right. You know, that's very dangerous because I do fireworks myself, try to be safe, but that itself is extremely dangerous.
That is very low to the ground. Joshua Sexton shared the video with us. You can see the fireworks barely leaving the ground. A spokesperson for the fairgrounds says the injured worker was with Pyro Shows, and the pyrotechnics provider is investigating what happened.
A Fuquay-Varina mother accused of causing the death of her 12-year-old son is expected to be in court today. Authorities arrested Holly Wren last week, 15 months after the death of her son, Jacob. A grand jury indictment says she failed to get medical attention for her son's untreated diabetes. And the indictment also says she showed a, quote, reckless disregard for her biological son's life. She's now facing charges of second-degree murder and child abuse.
People from local community organizations plan to speak against the proposed WakeMed Atrium merger at today's Wake County Commission meeting. The proposal has raised concerns about the future of healthcare costs.
Some of the biggest concerns that we have with this merger / takeover is that the quality of healthcare, the delivery of services is probably going to be impacted, and it's going to affect us. And when I say us, the Southeast Raleigh community, but Wake County as a whole, it's going to affect all of us in one way or another.
Commissioners have delayed voting on the deal until at least next month. Today's meeting will be at the Wake County Justice Center at 2 o'clock.
And I'm Laura Levine here in the WRAL Life Center following new information this morning on the red card drama with the Flo Balogun at the center of all of this after he was supposed to be suspended for the game tonight. Well, we're now learning that Belgium was granted the right to appeal, against FIFA's decision to suspend the one-game ban handed to Flo Balogun. Again, hours out from the team's round of 16 game against the U.S. So despite being dismissed against Bosnia and Herzegovina, the USMNT striker is now available to face Belgium in the round of 16 tonight after an intervention from President Trump. We know over the weekend, President Trump called FIFA's president and asked him to review the red card. So the Belgian Federation said that it was astonished by FIFA's decision to suspend the ban for a period of 1 year, citing Article 27 of their disciplinary code. I also want to show you this. They're calling it a contradiction, but we're also hearing from the European body, UEFA, who is also saying that this decision and criticizing this decision, calling it incomprehensible. They say that UEFA said in a statement that FIFA crossed a red line with this decision not to enforce the mandatory one-game ban. So, of course, we're following all of this with that game happening tonight at 8 p.m.
And Team USA faces Belgium tonight in the round of 16 in the FIFA World Cup. In fact, the DBAP will host a watch party for tonight's match. Gates open at 6:30, and there will also be watch parties at Moore Square in downtown Raleigh and at Nameko Park in Zebulon. WRAL will have a crew at the watch party at Sports and Social at Fenton and Cary. Plus, you can also watch tonight's match from the comfort of your own home on Fox 50. Before that, we're going to have the Portugal-Spain game, and that is at 3 p.m.
It is 6:11. Hard landing. 8 people rescued from a seaplane that went down on the East River in New York City. The close call they had on the way down.
And millions at stake, a move that could reshape betting in North Carolina. Why supporters and critics are both paying very close attention to how prediction markets are being handled.
And our hour-by-hour rain chances pick up this afternoon and this evening. We have a chance of some of those storms becoming severe. I'll walk you through the timeline coming up.
Stay safe with the latest WRAL Weather Alert Day info. Get up to the minute weather and traffic conditions when you get in your car. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM, in Durham 96.5 FM, and everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
6:15, here we go again. We have the same pattern in place that we've seen for the last several days. A solid flow coming out of the south. It's a very tropical air mass with lots of moisture in place. Very, very sticky. And so as we start to heat things up during the afternoon, we'll end up with a chance of some scattered storms. It's a level 1 risk for the entire viewing area, but that doesn't mean everybody will see the storms. Nobody wants to see the severe weather, but of course the rain would be good to see. There were a few pockets yesterday of up to 1.5 inches, at least on radar. So we'll take a look at that. Again, the usual timeline, afternoon and evening thunderstorms. It's a pretty start here in Durham with a mix of sun and clouds as that sun's coming up here over downtown. And Raleigh and Durham, it's 73, it's 72 in Roanoke Rapids, 74 in Rocky Mount and Wilson. So it's a warm and muggy start for us. Heat will be our other issue for it today. We'll see a high of 97 this afternoon. If you're doing any exercise outside, you definitely want to get it done before noon. Ken?
Elizabeth, weather and traffic every 10 minutes. We got first responders working a couple of incidents, one in Northland, Wake County, and Falls of News and Old Falls of News Road, and this one here in Durham at Highway 70 and South Miami Boulevard. Neither is causing any problems for you in terms of if that's part of your morning commute. In terms of all the routes heading into Raleigh, all delay-free. I-87, US 1 coming in from Wake Forest. You're coming in from the Garner-Johnson County area and I-40 westbound, all delay-free at this hour.
8 people had to be rescued after a small seaplane crashed into the East River in New York City. You can see the aftermath right here. And witnesses say the plane appeared to come in close contact with an NYPD helicopter before that crash. You see this happened yesterday afternoon, and the case is being described as a hard landing. Again, 8 people were rescued from that plane, and 2 had minor injuries, but they refused medical treatment. Still not clear, though, where exactly the plane started its flight from.
Today, President Donald Trump is expected to head to Turkey for this week's NATO summit. Leaders are expected to discuss the war in Ukraine and security in the Middle East and Strait of Hormuz. They are also expected to talk about the future of the alliance. Relations between the U.S. and some NATO members remain strained. After the summit, President Trump is expected to meet with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
Prediction market betting companies such as Kalshi and Polymarket could soon win formal recognition in our state, and we would be the only state in the nation to do so far. It's raising concerns, though, from some lawmakers on both sides of the aisle. Giving these companies recognition will allow North Carolina to tax them. That gives the state a new revenue stream worth potentially millions a year. But critics say it will undercut sports betting in the state. They also argue this would harm the college athletics departments that depend on sports betting revenue for competing in the new NIL era. The proposal was added to the state budget with little public debate before it passed last week, and you can read more on this topic in the NC Capitol section on WRAL.com. So today marks 1 year since the remnants of Tropical Storm Chantal after it devastated parts of Durham and Orange counties. At least 6 people were killed in North Carolina. Flooding forced dozens of homeowners and business owners off their property. And tonight on WRAL News at 5 and 6, WRAL investigates the lessons learned from Chantal and shows you the changes local emergency departments have made to help prepare for the next storm. A lot of people had a tough time recovering after that, Renee.
And we do have a risk for some severe weather today, Elizabeth. We'll be tracking that closely, but we have all that hot air out there and it just fires up some of these storms.
It does. Just more of the same. We're not seeing this pattern breaking really this week. Not every day will put us in the danger zone, but today definitely does. We'll see heat index 100 to 106. Maybe even some of our southern towns could feel hotter than that. The main threat, of course, will be heat-related illnesses. The more you expose yourself to this high heat, the more likely you are to have heat exhaustion or heat stroke. So just be careful if you have to work outside. Hopefully a lot of people didn't over the weekend since it was a holiday. A few scattered storms this afternoon could be strong enough to produce some wind damage. We did see a little bit of that yesterday. The pattern's basically the same. A strong flow of hot, humid air coming out of the tropics. We're able to squeeze some of that moisture out, especially from Durham and northern Wake County in a line down towards Sanford. That's where we ended up with about 1 inch to 1.5 inches of rain. But notice, the sort of the lighter green shaded areas, that's where we had about a trace of rain, and that was most of the area. We'll zoom in here and you get another look here. That blue shaded area in western Wake County, about 1 inch of rain. Up near Falls Lake, Durham and Wake counties, about 1.5 inches. Near Chapel Hill, almost 1.5 inches, and just northeast of Sanford, also about 1.5 inches. But it was, isolated at best for those higher rainfall totals, which is really typical during severe storms. We did have a cluster of these circles down here north of Southern Pines, south of Sanford. That's where we had some trees down, some wind damage. We did see that in a few other places as well. We're going to see storms each afternoon going forward all the way into the weekend. The heat wave will shrink slightly, but only slightly. We have a level 1 risk for severe storms both today and tomorrow. So those will be our best chances for rain. And in both cases, it's afternoon and evening. There's noon. We'll see those storms starting to pop up around 3 o'clock or so and then continue into the evening. Notice they are just isolated. So it's not like everybody's going to see one. You don't want the severe weather, but having that rain could be really nice. Tomorrow, that chance starts again, mainly say early to mid-afternoon and continues. Now, all the way through the next 7 days, it's possible that we could see up to 1/2 inch to 1.5 inches. Certainly yesterday, we saw some pockets where the rain was that heavy. And in terms of our heat index, we're looking at 105 to 107, potentially maybe even 109 in a few places. So again, the heat continues. We're going to see the hottest day this week on Friday, up to 99, which would tie the record, Ken.
All right, Elizabeth, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. We'll start with that northern loop of the Beltline. I-440 at Ridge Road. Westbound lanes moving away from us, and really and truly, traffic has been flowing at a nice steady clip on that northern loop of the Beltline. We're not picking up any delays whatsoever, which is really good news. As far as the other routes heading into Raleigh this morning, we're just picking up a 1-minute delay coming in from Wake Forest. If you're coming in from Knightdale and I-87, delay-free, and you're coming in from Garner, the Johnson County area, I-40 westbound, that's delay-free as well. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Time on the clock is 6:21. Food concerns. A new consumer report is taking a closer look at the levels of additives in widely sold food and drinks. 5 on your side takes a closer look at the findings.
And a double celebration. Holly Springs marks 2 major milestones, one for America and one for the town itself. A look at the festivities.
All right, so the America 250 celebrations in the Triangle did not disappoint this past weekend. Thousands of people were out there to celebrate the fireworks show at Dix Park on Saturday. And the celebrations also carried over into yesterday. The town of Holly Springs kicked off its year-long 150th anniversary celebration yesterday. People came together to celebrate both 250 years of the U.S. and 150 years of Holly Springs.
It's important to bring our family here and our friends and just come together as a community. We hear a lot of negative news out there, and I think this is just a really positive atmosphere for everyone in our community.
The free celebration had live music, food trucks, games, and it capped off with a fireworks show.
This What's Trending report is sponsored by Call Dad AC and Heating.
A big announcement from Cristiano Ronaldo and a couple of big wins in the knockout rounds of the World Cup yesterday.
All right, let's go ahead and bring in Ken Smith to talk about it this morning. What's trending?
Yeah, Christopher, it's the end of an era. Soccer legend Cristiano Ronaldo announcing this will be his last FIFA World Cup. The 41-year-old recently became the first player in history to score in 6 different World Cups, all of those goals coming with Portugal.
Yeah, no doubt inspiring a lot of youngsters who want to also play the game now. He is also the second oldest scorer in World Cup history. How about that?
Yeah, he's always fun to watch.
Very.
Yeah. So it was cause for celebration for soccer fans in England and Norway. Both teams picking up big wins over the weekend in their round of 16 matches in the FIFA World Cup. Thousands of fans were in Oslo to watch Norway beat Brazil 2-1. And fans in London were excited after England beat Mexico 3-2.
So now Norway and England will face each other this Saturday. You can watch that match on Fox 50. Pandemonium. Ken, thank you. 6:26 now, teen takeovers. Thousands of teens in Raleigh over the weekend, leading to fights and shootings. What police are saying about the chaos that spread across the city.
And this, a vape shop break-in. The owner of this store on Capitol Boulevard says tens of thousands of dollars worth of merchandise was stolen. We'll bring you more information and more of this video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker.
And today is a WRAL Weather Alert Day. Extreme heat risk. We have a heat advisory in place and a level 1 risk for severe storms. I'll walk you through the timeline coming up.